Good morning everyone. Ang pag-aaralan natin ngayon ay Microsoft Excel functions. These are commonly used functions in Microsoft Excel. So please listen very well kasi nandito yung solusyon dun sa inyong mga activities in our lesson. Okay. So to open Microsoft Excel, make sure you have installed it in your computer. So just click on and select Microsoft Excel. Okay. So, ito yung Microsoft Word screen. This is your Microsoft Excel screen. So, we'll just focus on the commonly used formula in Microsoft Excel. In our lesson, we have their different functions to be tackled. So, the first thing that we are going to do is to identify or be familiar with Microsoft Excel. This is the Microsoft Excel screen. You have here the menu, the ribbon. This is the title bar. We have here the formula bar. We have the name box. We have here the column headings and the row headings. And ito naman yung sheet name. Okay. Pwede mong i-rename yung sheet name. You just double click and say for example, this is your activity. Ayan. You can also add in more sheets if you want. Okay. We'll just focus on our activity. Alright. So, commonly used Microsoft Excel function, the first thing that we're going to discuss is the use of sum. So, we have sum function. How do you start the formula in Microsoft Excel? For example, you would like to add the values of this cells. Ang tawag dito ay mga cells. So, bawat tinuturo kong cells ay tinatawag nating active cells. Let us use the sum function. So, for example, you would like to add the score. So, for example, your score in Filipino. Okay. For the first quiz, insert tayo ng column. For the first quiz, for quiz 1, your score is 20. Okay. For quiz 2, you have 15. For quiz 3, we have 35. So, we're going to get the sum of these three scores. Okay, first thing that you're going to do to get the sum is to type in equal sign. So, start tayo lagi ng formula with equals. Okay, equals sum. And the function or the use of this sum function is to, as you can see here, adds all the numbers in a range of cells. So, where is the range of cell here? You have here, let's open parenthesis and click on the range of cell. Cell C2. This is C3, this is C4. So, arrow down to highlight and click again the close parenthesis. We have now 70. We can also use the sum function to add the values of the numbers quickly. Say, for example, to 34 and 25. So, that's the result. Okay. So, that's the use of sum function. The formula is always start with equals, then the function sum, and the range of cell or the values you would like to add. Okay. So, another one that we are going to discuss, the second function, commonly used function in Microsoft Excel that we are going to discuss is sum average. We have average. Okay. So, for example, you would like to add the average of these numbers. Okay. Let us assume na ito yung mga grades lang muna. Okay. Say, for example, this is the equivalent grade. It's the equivalent grade. So, for example, 20 is 95. For 15, 85, for example. For 35, for example, 90. How are you going to get the average of those numbers? Okay, again, you may use the average function. This is equals average. So, average functions returns the number of arithmetic mean of its arguments, which can be numbers or names or arrays or references that contains numbers. So, open parentheses, then the range of cell you would like to get in the average is located, and close parentheses. And you can have the average of these three numbers in different, ito sa mga cells na ito. Okay? You can also get the average of the numbers quickly using equals average, open parentheses, the numbers that you would like to get the average. Say for example, 78 and 75. Definitely, you'll get the average of 76.5. So, yun yung gamit ng average. The formula is equals. Always start the formula with equal sign and the function and the numbers that you would like to get the average in, or the range of cells. Okay, that's how you get the average. Okay, so let's have another one. Number 3. We have sum if. Sum if. How are you going to get the sum if? Ito yung may mga conditions that you are going to meet. For example, you're just going to add all the subjects having all the Filipino subjects. Halimbawa, gawa tayo ng another set. Okay, so these are subjects. Okay, so ang mga subject natin is Filipino, ICT, for example, English, Math, Science, Okay, so, anong i-analyze natin? Your quizzes. Yes, quizzes. Okay, ang mga quizzes mo sa Filipino, for example, is 85, 90, 75, for example, 89, 85. So, pili pa tayo ulit. Copy natin na lang. We have okay, another tayo. Okay. Marami kang quizzes. Alright, so 78, 75, 76, 89, and 90, for example. You're just going to get the sum if the subject is math. Okay, so lagyan natin ng color. Alright, then equals sum if, then where is the range of cells? So saan ka kukuha? So ito ang range of cell natin, and our criteria, for example, you're going to type it in here. Criteria is here. Then ano i-add natin? The range, the sum, that the range that you're going to get the sum. Yan. Alright, so enter. As you can see here, you have 0. Why 0? Because you have not yet typed in the criteria. Say for instance, you would like to add in Filipino subject. So write in Filipino. And we have here 85. Why? Filipino, isa lang. We have two signs here. So we have signs. Signs, for example. Okay, so you have here 175. Remember, you are just getting the sum if the criteria is science. What if math? Okay, they have math. That's how to use the sum if. The formula is equals plus the function sum if the location or the range of cell where you would like to get the criteria from, and your criteria, this is our criteria, and then where you're going to sum, where you're going to get the data to sum the range. Yun. Okay, yun yung formula natin. Just to determine the subject that you would like to add. Kunyari, lahat ng math, lahat ng science, mga ganon. Okay, that is sum if. That's the formula. Alright, let's proceed. Another formula that we have here is average if. Just the same, average if. Okay, so let us get the average for our criteria. Let us say, for example, lagyan natin ng para sa average. Green lang. So, equal sign, that's the start of the formula, equals to determine the average of all English subjects. Okay, so, average if. So, our range of cell is from yung subjects natin, from here. Then, the criteria that we have is here. Itong, dyan tayo mag-input ng criteria natin mamaya. And then, the data that you would like to use to get the average, ito yun. And then, close parentheses. Let's see, quizzes, average. Alright, so let us have, for example, ICT. How many ICT do we have here? We have ICT. Ganun din kasi siya nakasulat. So, we have now 84. Bakit kanina, makikita natin, we have 0 because we have not yet inputted the criteria. Okay, the moment we input the criteria, definitely it will change. So, the formula is equals, then the average if, and the range that we would like to get in the criteria, then the criteria that we are setting in, and then the range where we are going to get the data to get the average. Yeah, that's the formula. Okay, so another, let's have science. That's the criteria, science. So for the science, that's 90 and 85. So, tingnan natin, equals average. Okay, so that is 90 and 85. 90 and 85. Okay, it's 87.5, just the same. So we have sum, average, sum if, and average if. Let's proceed. Let's have another one. Another is count. So, what is the function of count? The function of count is to count the number of cells in a range that contains number. Count the number of cells in a range that contains number. When we say range, ito yan. For example, yan yung range na pagkukuhanin mo ng merong numero. Okay. Ito ang ating gagamiting example. Alright, let's count. Ito ay very helpful sa inyo kung ang halimbawa, ang spreadsheet ninyo ay punong-puno ng data, no? At nahihirapan kayo hanapin. So, count. Alright, then, yung range ng cell na pagkukuhanan mo ng ng number. Okay, close. Then, how many do we have? How many numbers do we have in this range? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, we have 9. That's the use of count. So, pag nakita mo, count, okay, it counts the number of cells in a range that contains number or numbers. What if we are going to use count A? So, another function that we are going to have is count A or counter. Count A or counter. What's the function of count A or counter? Equals. Then we have count A. So, count A counts the number of cells in a range that are not empty. Ibig sabihin, alin dito sa mga range of cells na ito ang hindi empty. Pag hindi empty, ibig sabihin ay may laman. So, wala siyang pakialam kung ano yun? Number and text. Number or text. Basta, hindi siya empty. So, let's proceed. Let's see kung anong itsura. Count A, open parentheses. So, start again with equals. Laging ganun, equals. Then the function counter. And then, select the range of cell where you are going to count the number of cells that are not empty. Okay? Okay, for example, here, yung hindi empty. At tinutukoy lang natin. Okay, ang hindi empty ay 18. Kasi lahat ito 18 lang. What if we use from here hanggang dito? Hanggang K, 10. Alright? 18 also. Why? Kasi, ang pinahanap natin ay yung hindi empty. Kaya kahit saan pa dyan, at ito lang yung hindi empty, definitely, yun lang isasagot niya. Pero let us test. Okay? Let us test. Okay, tingnan natin. Ito yung range natin. Then, magta-type tayo dito sa mga portion na to. Titingnan natin kung madadagdagan yung 18. Okay. Let's say, for example, Okay, for example, napansin natin nagbabago siya. Because, kinakount count A ang mga sinulat natin. Kasi yun yung range natin. Okay, sa nagdagdag ay 18, 19, 20, 20. Okay, tanggalin natin. Right, so that's count A. What if you would like to count all the blank cells? Okay, that is number 7. Count blank. Count blank. So, are we going to use count blank? That's count blank. Kaya siya count blank. Ano yung function ng count blank? Counts the number of empty cells in a specified range of cells. So, ilan yung blank cells dun sa pinili natin na range of cells. So, count blank. From here down hanggang H11. Okay? So, how many blank cells do we have from B1 down to H11? Where is B1 down to H11? So, we have 57. So, the moment we input, for example, 56, 7, so for example, 8, so for example, 7, 8, 9. So, nagbabago siya, right? That's the function of count blank and the function of count blank. Okay, and count. So, the difference is that pag sinabi ninyong count, it counts the number of cells in a range that contains numbers. Pag sinabi natin count A, or count blank, counts the number of cells in a range that are not empty. And count blank counts the number of empty cells in a specified range of cells. Yun yung commonly used. What if we used count it? Count if. What's the use of COUNTIF? Okay, so count if we have a range of cell and we have a criteria. Okay, count if Filipino. So the range of cell that you're going to get in the data is B2 up to B10. And where is the range? Let's say for instance, dito natin ita-type yung ating criteria. Yun na example natin. Okay. So, saan yung criteria natin? E13. So, E13. Okay, lagyan natin ng highlight. Okay, so for example, our criteria is ICT. How many ICT do we have here? So, here we have 2. How many science do we have? We have 2. How many math? We have 2. How many Filipino? We have 1. Okay, that's the function of counting. Yun yung mga commonly used functions in Microsoft Excel. Ito yung pwede ninyong magamit dun sa inyong activity. Let us have your activity. Okay. Setting sample natin. We're going to determine how many of the participants are satisfied and said yes. Okay. Ito example natin, satisfied. How many of the participants, this is to determine how many of the participants said yes, that yes, they are satisfied with the taste of your product. So equals, then let's count if they are satisfied. Yes. And let's be different. So to get in, you have equals, and you have count if, then you have the range of cell where you're going to get in the criteria, and your criteria is yes. Okay, that's how. This is the respondents. Respondents. Then average. So, this is the criteria that we're going to use. Lagyan natin ng highlight. And the computation. Okay, para mas makita natin. Equals. Then we have the average. Range if. Then, the range of cell. Then, the criteria. Then, the area where you're going to get the average in, this one. Okay. So let us have the respondents student 4667. What if teacher? Teacher. Yeah. Alright, so that's how you use the average if. Ito sa ating activity. Okay, add. Let's add. Okay, for addition. Alright, so getting the sum. If. Okay, so the formula is instead of average if, you may use sum if. Okay. Student. Alright, so class, did you get it? So, sana ay makatulong ang ating lesson na ito para masagutan ninyo ang activity. At pwede makatulong sa inyo for calculations sa inyong mga data sa inyong presentation. Alright, so good luck sa inyong activities. Okay, so sana ay natutunan nyo ang lesson natin today at sana ay makatulong ito sa inyong activity. Alright, so see you again for our next video sa ating advanced presentation. This is now advanced spreadsheet skills. Alright, so good luck.